Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this virtual maths lesson. I'm Mr. Williams, and I'm going to be teaching all of your maths lessons for this week. Now, to begin with, I'm just going to tell you all of the things that you're going to need to get together for this lesson. So let me just show you my screen. Here we go. So for this lesson, you are going to need a dry white pen, and we sent one of these home in your home learning packs. You will also need a 100 square, and again, that was in your home learning pack, which hopefully you collected from school. You will also need a pencil and paper, or you can use the book that was in your home learning pack. You will need 20 things to count. That could be 20 pebbles, 20 pieces of pasta, 20 buttons, or anything else that you've got at home that you can use to count. And finally, you will need 10 strips of paper. And all you need to do is get a sheet of paper and rip it up or cut it up into 10 little bits. So if you would like to pause the video for a moment, go and collect all of the things that you will need for this lesson and then come back in a moment. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, let's get on with today's maths lesson then. So we're going to begin by warming up our maths brains to get us ready to do some super maths. And we have got 3 challenges here, and you can choose to do which of these challenges you would like to do to warm your maths brain up. So our first challenge is our little chap in the canoe here, and this challenge says, can you find and practice the number bonds to 5? So we have got a part-whole diagram there with number 5 in. What are the pairs of numbers that add together to make number 5? See if you can write them all down as number sentences. Our second challenge, which most of you will be able to do, says, can you complete the part-whole and write the 4 fact families? So we've got the number 10 there. One of our parts is 7. First thing to do is to work out the other part and then write out the 4 fact families, the 4 number sentences. And a clue, 2 of them will be addition and 2 will be subtraction. And our final challenge, which some of you will be able to attempt, is can you complete the part whole and write the 4 fact families? And that's for the number 15. That's a whole number. One of our parts is 7. What is the other part? And what are the 4 fact families? So pause the video here, choose which challenge you're going to do, and then come back when you've completed it. See you in a moment. Okay, how did we get on with that? So if you tried our first challenge, here are all the number bonds to 5 you could have come up with. 0 had 5, 1 had 4, 2 had 3, 3 had 2, 4 had 1, and 5 had 0. But those clever people there amongst you will realize that 3 of them are the same, because 3 had 2 is really the same as 2 had 3. 4 had 1 is really the same as 1 had 4, and 5 had 0 is the same as 0 had 5. So you might only have written down 3 of those number bonds. On to our second challenge, and we wanted to have those 4 fact families. So the 4 that we could have had there were 7 add 3 equals 10, 3 add 7 equals 10, 10 take away 7 is 3, or 10 take away 3 equals 7. Now you might have written them slightly differently. You might have written the number 10 first. 10 equals 7 add 3. Or you might have written them down like 3 equals 10 take away 7, and that's absolutely fine. And on to the final challenge. The 4 fact families here were 7 add 8 makes 15, 8 add 7 makes 15, 15 take away 7 is 8, and 15 take away 8 is 7. So well done if you completed your challenge successfully. Okay, on to our main lesson today then, and this is all about how do brilliant mathematicians recall the 2 times table. And the good news is all of you are brilliant mathematicians, so this should be absolutely fine. So let's see what's involved in today's lesson. Now, to begin with, I've got my 100 square here, and thinking about the 2 times table, what we mean by that is all of the numbers that, if we count in 2s, all of the numbers that we're going to say. So I'm going to begin by counting in 2s, and I am going to highlight the numbers as I say them on my 100 square. So counting in 2s, I could start at 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now I'm going to stop there. And the reason I'm doing that is because I would like you to carry on. I would like you to get your 100 squared, and I would like you to use your pen to circle the numbers as you say them. So count in twos, circle the numbers as you say them. See how far you can go. Can you go all the way up to 100? Okay, so pause the video, have a go at that task, and come back in a moment once you've done it. Good luck. Okay, welcome back, and I hope you got on well. This is how I got on with that. I've highlighted all of my numbers, and hopefully, just like me, hopefully you've got the same pattern as me, and you might start to be able to recognize the patterns that we've created there. Have you noticed anything? Well, it's quite obvious that we've got this column here. We haven't highlighted any numbers, but we've highlighted everything in this column, nothing in that column, everything in that column. And there's a bit of a pattern. It's every other column. All of the numbers in this column end in 1. And none of those numbers are in our 2 times table. We haven't highlighted any of them. All of these numbers end in the number 2. They are all in the 2 times table. None of the numbers that end in 3 are, but all of the numbers that end in 4 are in the 2 times table. And you can see the pattern goes on. So I can use this to do some prediction. I could predict if a number is going to be in the 2 times table, because as long as it ends in a 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0, it's going to be in the 2 times table. So I'm going to hide that a moment, and I'm going to ask you some challenge questions. So do you think the number 88 is in the 2 times table? Oh, I can't hear you. Okay, hopefully you said yes. 88, here it is, ends in the number 8, and a number that ends in 8 is in the 2 times table. Well then, if you got that right, I'm going to hide them again. Okay, do you think the number 26 is in the 2 times table? What do you think? 26. Well, it's got a 2 at the start, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's the number in the ones column that's important. It ends in a 6. Oops, sorry. And all numbers that end in a 6 are in the 2 times table. Okay, last one. Would the number 91 be in the 2 times table? 91, oops, keep pressing the wrong button. 91 ends in a 1, it's not in the 2 times table. So well done. Let's go on to our next task. Okay, now what I'm going to do on a piece of paper is, just like we did on our 100 square, I'm going to do some counting in twos, but this time I'm going to write them out as a number sequence. So here we go. So I'm going to start with 2, that's my first number. Then counting in twos, the next number would be 4. Then it would be 6, then 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now, can you have a go at writing out the numbers in the 2 times table and see how far you can go? Now, I started to write mine out in a bit of a pattern, because you can see that these numbers all end in 2, these ones end in 4, these ones end in 6. So I tried to organize them in a sensible way. Okay, so pause the video here, write your numbers out. You can go up to 20, but if you want to, you can go further. So pause the video, come back once you've done it. See you in a moment. Okay, welcome back. We're going to have a little game now. So with my numbers that I wrote down, I've hidden one of them with one of my pebbles, and we're going to use our understanding of counting in twos to work out what number it is. Can you work out what it is? Okay, that's good. So let's see, we've got 2, 4, and the next number would be 6. Well done if you got it right. Okay, let's hide another number. Well, what's hidden this time? It's a little bit trickier because the way that I've laid my numbers out, it goes onto the next line. What would it be? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 was the missing number. Well done if you got it right. Okay, let's do one more. What number have I hidden this time? Oh, well done if you said 20, and we can work it out by counting in our twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to ask you to have a little game at home now. So Hopefully, there's somebody at home who you can play this with. If there's not at the moment, maybe you can play it another time. And our game is to do just what we've been doing, to play with a partner, and you can take one of your pebbles, hide one of the numbers, and ask your partner to guess what the number is. And then it's their turn, and they can hide a number, and you've got to guess what it is. So if there's somebody there to play with now, you can pause the video, play the game, and then come back when you've done it. Okay, have fun. Okay, on to our next task now. And this is where you're going to need your pebbles or your pasta or your buttons or whatever it is that you have collected to count. Now, what I'm going to do with my pebbles is I'm going to organize them. I'm going to arrange them into groups of 2, because today's learning is all about the 2 times table, finding things in groups of 2. So here is my first group of 2. There we go. And all together, I have got 2 pebbles. Now I'm going to put my next group of 2 underneath it, starting to make a nice pattern. So I've got another group of 2, and if I count all of those pebbles up all together, I have got 4. If I put my next group of 2, how many pebbles have I got all together? 6. Next group of 2 all together makes 8. And my next group of 2 would be 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to write a number sentence to show what's going on. So to begin with, here's my first group of 2. So I've got 2 pebbles there. How many groups have I got? Well, I've got 1 group of 2, 1 lot of 2. Sometimes I could say I've got 1 times 2. And that's my number sentence. 1 times 2 equals 2. 1 lot of 2, or 1, 2, equals 2. If I highlight another group of 2, well, altogether I've now got 2 groups of 2 pebbles, 2 lots of 2, 2 times 2, and that makes 4 pebbles altogether. So I'm hoping now you can guess what I'm going to do next. So there's my next group of 2. How many groups of 2 have I got? I've got 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, and in every group I've got 2 pebbles. So I've got 3 groups of 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. And I'm going to go on like that, and I'm going to circle all my groups of 2 and write down my number sentence. 4 times 2, 5 times 2, 6 times 2, 7 times 2, and so on. Now, I'm going to hide that a second, because what I would like you to do is to arrange your pebbles or your pasta or your buttons in a neat pattern, just like I've done, and write on your piece of paper the number sentence, the multiplication number sentence that goes with it, going all the way up to 20. Okay, so pause the video, have a go at that task, and come back once you've done it. See you in a moment. Okay, how did you get on with that? I hope you did well. Now then, we're just going to think for a moment of things that come in 2s. What things can you think of that come in 2s? Well, I've got some things in front of me here. My hands, I've got 2 hands, and I've got 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, but other things come in 2 as well. On a bike, bikes have 2 wheels, and lots of animals have 2 legs. You might think of some items of clothing that come in 2s, like socks or gloves. And actually here, I've got some gloves, I've got some mittens, and you can see they come in pairs. Hopefully, if you've got mittens, yours are in pairs, but very often, as we know at school, sometimes we lose some gloves, and then we haven't got 2 in a pair. So here I've got 3 pairs of gloves, which come into 3 lots of 2. So I've got a group of 2 there, a group of 2 there, and a group of 2 there. So altogether, that's 3 lots of 2. So my number sentence to show what's going on there is 3 times 2. And altogether, I have got 6 gloves. So 3 lots of 2 makes 6. 3 2s is 6. Let's try another one. Oh, that's the same one. Okay, so here we go. I've got some bicycles there. How many bicycles are there? Can you count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So altogether, we've got 5 bicycles. And every bike has got 2 wheels. And what I want to know is, how many wheels are there altogether? And what would that number sentence be? So let's see. Let's work this out. We have got, see if you can beat me to writing the number sentence down. We have got 5 bikes, each with 2 wheels, and all together that makes 10 wheels. 5 times 2 equals 10. 5 lots of 2 is 10. Okay, let's do another one. So here we've got some of our friends, and they're very smiley, happy friends, aren't they? They're all looking very happy indeed. And all together, we can see there's 4 friends, and they have all got 2 eyes. Do you think you can write down a number sentence that shows how many eyes they've got all together? So 4 friends with 2 eyes. Okay, here we go. So we've got 4 times 2, 4 lots of 2, 4 2s, 4 multiplied by 2, and altogether that makes 8. 4 times 2 equals 8. Well done if you got that right. Now then, what we're going to do now is we're going to set you off with a challenge for you to complete on your own. And there's 3 to choose from. And I'm going to talk through each of these in just a moment, and you can decide which one you want to do and pause the video at the right time. So our first challenge is going to be completing the number sequences, counting in 2s. So you might decide you want to do that one. Now, the next one that most of you will be able to do is to complete the multiplication number sentences. These will all be 2 times table number sentences. And then the final one, which some of you might want to do, but you can all have a go at it, is to challenge yourself to learn the 2 times table. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to talk through those in a little bit more detail, and you can pause the video if you think, yeah, that's the one I want to do. So here's our first one. These are our missing number sequences, and you probably spotted straight away they're counting in 2s. So if you would like to try this challenge, you can pause the video here and write out on your piece of paper the whole number sequence, including those missing numbers. So pause the video here if you would like to try that one. Okay, the next challenge is to complete the multiplication facts, the 2 times table number sentences. So if you think that's the challenge that you would like to do, pause the video here, write out your number sentences with the answers, and then come back here once you've completed it. And on to our final challenge. And this one is the one where I said you're going to see if you can learn your 2 times table at speed. So what you will need to do is, on those bits of paper that I asked you to tear up right at the start, is to write down some of the 2 times table number facts. And on one side, you can write the question at 1 times 2, and on the other side, you can write the answer. So on the back of that one, I would write 2. On the back of 8 times 2, I would write 16. And what you can do is write them all out, put them down on the table, and you can, first of all, practice saying them and turning them over to check if you've got the right answer, but then see how quickly you can do it. See if you can time yourself and challenge yourself to be able to turn them all over as quick as you can. Okay, pause the video here if you want to do that one, and I'll see you all in a moment. Okay, welcome back. We'll just go through the answers then. So our first challenge, here we go. Our first number sequence was 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then we had 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Then this was a little bit trickier because the missing numbers were in the middle. So we had to work out what the sequence was probably by going on a little bit first. So 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Then finally, this one was counting backwards in 2s, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10. And then the answers to our next one. 5 times 2 was 10, 3 times 2 was 6, 7 times 2 was 14, 10 times 2 was 20, 1 times 2 is 2, 11 times 2 is 22, 4 times 2 was 8, and 2 times 0 was 0. Sometimes that catches people out. If you've got 2 lots of nothing, you've got nothing. Okay. Now that is the end of our lesson today on the 2 times table. So I hope you've done some super work at home, and I hope you are starting to get really fluent with learning your 2 times table. In our next lesson, we're going to look at the 10 times table. So hopefully I will see you again tomorrow for that. Until then, goodbye.